Hey everybody, it's Jeremy, and this is turn 1 of Pokemon Gold, where we are playing Cameron, the photographer, god of Cyanwood City. And I have looked at the turn, but I haven't really studied the turn. I just popped it open to make sure that everything was working just fine. So we're going to do this all live. This probably won't be the way I do this as turns get a little bit more extensive. But here we are. So here is our map for the game. We've got a nice big pond here, and this is going to be for... So this game has... Let's check real quick. This game has 14 players. I want to say 13 Pokemon nations, right? All the way through here. I think we're missing Fuchsia City is the only nation that we didn't get in the game. And then we actually have a player who is playing a vanilla nation, Atlantis, and they're going to be in the pond. And the point of this is to kind of just test out how vanilla does against the mod nations itself. Not really, I guess for balance purposes. Regardless, so here we are in Cyanwood City. And I'm not sure this might either be a very good starting position or a very crappy starting position. So we are on the coast, so that kind of sucks because we might not have as many land connections as we could, right? It also sucks that we have a throne in our cap circle because these are all level 2 thrones, so that means we might not be able to capture this throne for a while. So that's kind of unfortunate. That means we're going to be down to 3 provinces in our cap circle. But we do have some maybe cool or good things to offset this. If we look over here to the west, we have a river that is running for about 3 provinces on our side. Not 4 provinces on our side if we're counting this one right up here. And 4 provinces on the right side. So that actually gives us this very interesting natural border. Now, there's probably someone over in here-ish, right? These are not fixed locations as far as I'm aware, so not 100% sure where everyone is. But basically, for a lot of people, this is going to give us a nice defensible border. Now, if we have like Violet City is the big brain bird boys, right? If they are over there, or maybe like Azalea City has a bunch of flyers, right? There are definitely some nations that are going to have a bunch of flyers that can kind of get over there. There's Cerulean City, I believe, has a good portion of water units, so they probably will have swimming, but they're probably going to be on the coast like we are. So I doubt they're going to be over here. Hopefully, though, this gives us a relatively defensible border that we don't have to worry about. Another interesting thing that we have is right here, we have a Hobergdorf, which means we might have Hobergs, which is actually interesting for us because we do not have access to a whole bunch of nature magic. And Hoberg herbalists, I believe, tend to have it. So we are playing, this is as a heads up, we are playing with Pokemon Indies, right? So most of the Indies have been replaced with Pokemon tribes and stacks, which is really cool. Very flavorful, adds a whole bunch of new different things that we can find and get. Really cool stuff. But it also means that things tend to be a little harder because the Pokemon are a little stronger. So we're going to run into some trouble there. Anyways, so I think this is exciting. We have an interesting, maybe have a very good province right here. If we can get up to this point, this kind of circles back around, we might have another good province here. And this, I think, is going to be kind of like our goal. We want to get up to province 30 and try to take that. Because if we can get that, it's a large province, it's a farmland, it's going to be probably worth a whole bunch, and it looks to be like it is a very good point for us to be putting up infrastructure. And the reason I say that, not only does it have 1 billion connections, and it's going to be a farmland and be very nice, but it's also very well positioned between these three thrones, right? This throne less of a worry because our cap's right next to it, but these two thrones, it can definitely we can put those in our sphere of influence, right? As we aim towards things. Now, for this game, we do have 18 points, and there are, oh crap, what are there? There's 14 thrones, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 thrones. So 18 thrones is actually, or 18 points is a crap ton, right? That's going to be 9 thrones out of 14 that we will have to capture. So could go very, very long. There aren't a bunch of thrones in the sea. That's very interesting to see. And actually, there are no thrones, but there is. This one is basically Atlantis's, guaranteed. All right, so I'm Jack and Jaw a whole bunch. Let's see what we don't really have a whole lot we're gonna do for this turn. We are going to prophetize our starting Crush Girl. Is very good leadership, and that leadership will go up. She's going to be leading our starting armies. So we're gonna prophetize her, and we're going to rename her to Crush? No, it's not Crush. I've got Crush in my head. It's Chuck. We're gonna rename her to Chuck's wife. Okay. So, and then we have a Battle Girl, and the Battle Girls are flying, stealthy, very stealthy spies. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get up here and get this information on this particular area and try to scout around and keep eyes on who's going to be where, right? That's going to be our plan there. We could, now she does have a temple trainer, so we could do Hitmonlees each turn with her. The problem with the Hitmonlees is they're very expensive, and so you have limited recruitment. So you might think, hey, it's really good to, if you want a bunch of them, it's really good to get your temple trainer. And yeah, if you want a bunch of them, it's really good to get your battle girls to train at the temples. The problem with them is they're so expensive that they still cost 72 freaking gold upkeep per year. So I think that's like 12 a month or 16 a month or something like that. That starts to and the temple trained ones they're not zero cost. So you get like 5 or 6 of them in the early game when your income is still low, and it goes south very quickly. So we're not gonna do that, right? Who is the one that we are interested in? Defensive Tyrogue, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, offensive Tyrogue, Chop, Mankey, Poliwrath. Okay, so I was trying to see if there was a Hitmontop. So Hitmontop is, I've probably already mentioned this, but Hitmontop, whereas Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee are very expensive, Hitmontop is actually not very expensive. It's only 20 gold and 16 gold per turn. It's still limited recruitment, so we might not pick up that many of them while we're trying to get our Prodigy White Belts, but these can be nice to grab because they do have this triple kick, which is 3 attacks, and a dynamic punch, which causes confusion and hits very hard. And you can put them on, like, they're pretty quick, combat speed 22. You can put them on, like, attack rear commands, kind of like cavalry, and then they'll sweep around the side. And as soon as they hit something, right, they have bad formation fighter, but you can fit 3 of them in a square, I believe. Or not 3 of them, 2 of them in a square. So that goes up to 8 attacks per square, and suddenly you're kind of like carving through things. They don't have the greatest defensive stats, but kind of low protection, but defense skill is pretty decent. So we might end up picking up a couple of them. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a researcher. Now, our research is not great. but we do have Mundane Researcher. We have Drain 3. All of our casters have Mundane Researcher. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right. They all have Mundane Researcher. So we're going to try to take advantage of that. We're wanting to get some randoms pretty early on so we can do some site searching, but we'll see how it goes. All right. And then we're going to recruit basically as many Prodigy White Belts as we can. Wait. Do I want to do the Researcher? I probably don't, actually. No. Researcher is good. So we're going to do a Researcher this turn, and then next turn we'll probably do some Commanders so that we have the ability to ferry troops, because we'll probably hit either here or here first, depending on where they go. Probably leave this side alone for like a second expansion party to come up and sweep up this way. Because we want to do here, here, and then either reinforce here or here, and then go into the Hoburgdorf. Is probably what's going to happen. Our territory is probably going to be very oddly shaped because of this river and because of this throne. Because it's going to be hard to just kind of like wrap around. It's 1, 2, 3 provinces just to get around it to 4. So, all right, that is probably about it as far as what we can do. We don't have any research this turn. Don't have any more recruitment. I guess we could grab a Mankey. Do we want to cancel and do a top? Ooh. So close. Could grab a Crusher Girl to throw into the mix, but they're really not that good. To top or not to top? I think we don't top. I think we go for the hope that we can get. So our and again, I've probably gone over this, but our prodigies, as far as sacred units go, they are not very strong. I say they are not very good units. They have high strength, but they have crappy protection, crappy defense, attack and precision are negligible. They have abysmal magic resistance, right? And our Bless is going to help with some of that, right? We have the Shock, Poison, Cold, Bless, so that's going to bump up our stats. We have Defense, we have Magic Resistance, we have Larger, and we have Combat Speed. Combat Speed is just a tack on from the Defense, basically. So Larger actually this doesn't show, but Larger actually drops our defense by 1, so this defense is actually going to just be a +2. So our white belts are not that good, but as they promote, they are not going to get that much better, although they will gain survivability, but their Machops will evolve up to Machokes and then to Machamps. And they will become much more threatening. And that's kind of what we're relying on. These first couple battles are going to be very sketchy, but as soon as we can get some level ups to a Machoke, to Machokes, or to, I think it's the blue belts is what they're called, from white belts to blue belts, then we should have a much better go of things. But that's all going to depend on what we come back to next turn. This is kind of a crappy province, it looks like. Hopefully these two are going to be better. Hopefully this one is really, really good and really, really easy. Fingers crossed. And hopefully we can make it up to this one in a timely manner. All right. I think that is going to be the end of this. I will see you all next time.